Hi all, this is just a short video to show you how I got from Hornby Railroad, Gresley Coach, looking like that, to try and getting it more looking like the super detailed ones. And the result is something looking like that. Now I'll go through the process of how I do it. It'll be very quick, very short. I've never done a YouTube video before, so please bear with me. Right, some years ago, about 6-7 years ago, I did try doing a coach with a wood effect by mixing a Humbrol brown paint with Humbrol satin coat, and I was never overly keen with result. And 5 weeks ago, whilst looking on YouTube, I saw Aidens Railway's way of turning the coaches into giving the coaches a more wood effect. So it's just a quick video to tell you how I went about it. So to start off, I totally stripped the coach down, and if it needed any metal wheels replacing the plastic wheels, then I use these Dapple, I think the 12.1mm freehole disc wheels, as they worked out half the price of Hornby or Bachmann wheels. I mean, you can use whatever wheels you want, it's entirely up to you. You can keep your plastic wheels. I then started by stripping the coach down altogether. You take the wheels off, undo it at the lugs, either end, and then in the middle, and you'll pull it apart. And once you've pulled it apart, you then need to take the glazing out if you're going to fit white lavatory toilet windows. So I started off by stripping it all out, stripping it down, if needs be giving them a wash in soapy water, because some, if you've bought them on eBay, they could be grubby, they could have been knocking about for years, and it just gives you a nice fresh canvas sort of start on. So once I'd stripped it completely, I was planning on painting over the windows. This one's clear, it doesn't actually have any glazing in it whatsoever anyhow, but usually they come with like a grey painted film over the inside of the window to give it the window effect. And now what I thought was, I was going to paint it with a Humbrol white paint, and then I thought, well no, it won't look right. So what I decided to use was this stuff, and it's just thin plastic card cut into squares of about 10 or 15mm, and then just stuck inside on the glazing. I don't know if you can see it there, to give it the white effect for the toilets. Another good reason for stripping it all down, it also helps with the painting. You don't have to worry about getting any painting on your glazing because you've taken that out to put your toilet windows in. So I'll just quickly go over with what I used for painting. The chassis at the top there, I just used a Humbrol matte gloss tan, I think it's number 12, and then when it had dried I went over it with the satin coat just to dull it down. The buffer beams, I used a Humbrol 53 gunmetal, and then when that had dried I just went over it with Humbrol gloss just to finish those off. The actual inside of the coaches, again, note special, just to give it all over one's coat of Humbrol. I used 29 dark earth on these. Then when it would dry, I gave it, just on this outside bit, you'd have to do it on inside, you're not going to really see it on inside, but just on the outside bit I gave it a coat of gloss just to, if you like, brine it up a little bit, just to give it a bit of a wood effect. On the inside you can't really see it, possibly just, but I did paint the seats red on this because it's a third class coach. Again, you don't have to be overly brilliant with it because you're not really going to get to see much detail in there anyhow. It's your own preference whether you decide to paint in there or not. You can leave them totally grey if you want, but I just think they'll look better painted rather than left with the grey plastic, which is really evident on the unpainted model. The roof, again, it's paints that I had lying around. I had a number 27, I think it is, or 29 Umbral matte grey, and just use that for the roofs. You don't have to paint the roofs. It's just my preference that I wanted these grey rather than the super detail ones that are like a cream. For the destination train coach running boards, if it'll focus, I purchased those from Sankey's Scenics, and when you get them, they're on a piece of card like this. Now what I did was I stuck this card on some plasticard just to give it extra strength and hold it together, and so far they do seem to have stuck on pretty well. They don't seem to be coming off or peeling away. I use tacky wax to actually apply them so that if they do start peeling off or I'm not happy, I can just rip them off, wipe the coach down, and that should be fine. It shouldn't leave any glue mark on that. As for the decals and the transfers, these were bought from Fox Transfers. Now, the original plan was to just scrape off the firsts or the thirds and then just stick on some Fox Transfers for that, but as you can see, there is a difference in the quality of them. The Fox Transfers are slightly smaller. You see the running number there, as opposed to the running number on the railroad version. So then I actually went and bought the full set to actually change the LNR, the coach running number, and the class designation labels on all of them. It was expensive. It's probably worked out at about £30, but for that you'd probably get 12 coaches done, I think, which would equate to about £2.50 a coach. On this one, and I'm purposely leaving it like that, is the original Hornby printed coach running number. Now I was going to rip that off and change it to one of them, and then I thought, well no, because it's just these are my original 3 Gresley coaches, and I thought I'd keep them like that, just as a reminder really. Now these coaches, in terms of cost, well, I had 3 anyhow from my Flying Scotsman set, but you can buy them on eBay, and you should, if you're lucky, be able to pick them up for around about £10. These, however, this is my first class coaches, and these were purchased, and these were the railroad ones that came in railroad boxes. The seller stated that the actual coaches were new and not used, and they were. You could tell that they hadn't been used. All what I had to do was replace the wheels with metal wheels. But they have gone, and it's been exactly the same process with the first class coaches as what I've done with the rest of them. And they are slightly different shade. So again, it depends on the actual shade and plastic, the actual models that you get, as to possibly how they'll turn out. Personally, I think the first class ones look better than the third class ones. As I say, there's no difference in process, so I've done exactly the same with both coaches. It's just that the plastic on the first class coach was obviously a different colour, and it just seems a little bit better, if I'm honest. So altogether I worked out it possibly cost between £17 and £20 per coach to do. If you're having to purchase them on eBay, I mean, you might have a load of these already, it'll bring your costs down. Obviously you don't have to put the Fox transfers on, you don't have to put the Sankey Scenics destination boards on. It's up to you how you do it. It's just, this is just the way I've done it. It has brought them out better, I think, having the Fox transfers on. Again, if you need to know how to apply them, then I'm sure there's plenty of videos on YouTube that'll show you how. It's just a case of using a toothpick and a cotton bud and just being very careful as you go doing it. Then applied decal fix over the top, waited 24 hours and then just went over with a gloss coat over at numbers just to help seal them in a bit better. So thanks for watching. I know it's not been a very good video, it's not been very professional, but if you head on over to Aidens Railways, it'll show you how to paint these up to get them looking a hell of a lot better, if nothing else, than the how they come. So if there's any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments and let me know what you think about it. And thanks for watching.